CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
And good morning to you and welcome to Public Affairs on Peach. I'm Gloria Neal. It is hard to believe, but summer officially begins next month. And the focus of this week's Public Affairs on Peach is summer safety. And sadly, that focus includes not forgetting to get your child or children or even your pets out of a hot car. Just last week, you had a woman was accused of basically leaving her week-old child and a dog in a car for 20 minutes on Piedmont Road near Lenox. That woman told investigators she went to pick up a paycheck and uniform and did not want anyone to know she had the child with her. Police say a man noticed that child crying and then notified security, who then called 911. The child was taken to the hospital for observation. Well, joining me now to talk about this problem and to campaign to really prevent this kind of stuff from even happening is Reg Griffin from the Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning. And thanks for being here first. But, you know, unfortunately, this is not something that is, how should I say, rare. I mean, we hear about this all the time.
Yeah, it happens a lot more than people would think. And the ironic thing is it actually happens when children are in the care of their own family and extended family, not necessarily in a child care situation. So we've looked into this over a number of years and basically seen some of the common threads are distractions, just maybe out of your ordinary schedule where you don't normally pick up the child or take her or him to school. And then you get a text message or a phone call and somehow you're off route. And children are so quiet, particularly younger children. They can fall asleep. They can curl up in the back of the car. And that leads to sometimes forgetting that you have the child. Right,
and I was going to say this hot car death trial has really put this into the limelight again. But with this happening so much, is that really what happens? People are so distracted, parents are so distracted that they forget that child is in the back or that pet is in the back, because most people can't fathom thinking you forgot about your child in the back seat.
Right. It's very hard. And there's a huge what the heck factor involved here when you hear the stories. And when we talk about our campaign, quite frankly, friends of mine will say, do you really have to remind people to try to remember their child or set a reminder or something like that? And sadly, the facts are, yes, you do. I think we're just so busy. And you're never too busy for a child. But I think you are easily distracted, like I said, by text messages, by pressure from work. It might be relationships, any number of things. And as long as that child is quiet. Now, with older children, generally, they'll remind you that they're in the car.
Exactly.
Exactly. I want out.
Right.
But younger children, particularly birth to 5 years old, they can fall asleep. They can crawl up into a school bus or a van. That's why we tell providers to do 2 checks of the vehicle, and that's why we call this Look Again. The rules and regulations for the state are to go through that vehicle at the end of all transportation. So a field trip, to and from school, after school, whatever. They walk the vehicle front to back and make sure a child hasn't gotten up in the seat. You look under the seat, behind the seat, and then we encourage a second look. Preferably by someone not associated with the trip. So you've got a fresh pair of eyes that are looking for anyone who might have been left behind.
Which means you have to leave early enough to make sure you leave time to do that so you're not late.
Absolutely. It takes extra time, but it can mean a lifetime for someone.
You better believe it. You better believe it. It's also important, too, to point out that an 18-year study of child deaths involving heat stroke inside vehicles, you've got, what, 29% of those are due to a child playing in an unattended vehicle. It also reminds people to lock their cars once they get out so kids don't get in and play, because you think about it, that would be a place that folks would forget to look.
Absolutely. I think we're in a habit of locking when we're in public at the shopping center or church or school. We're not in a habit of locking the car inside the garage. But the fact is, a vehicle is like a playground for a child. They love to mimic us. They like to have like they're driving to school or driving to work. The problem is they can become trapped in the car, not know exactly how to open the car, and of course the heat inside the car is double that of the temperature outside. So they can quickly become disoriented and have serious injury or even die.
Oh my goodness, I tell you, and that is what makes it so tragic. Well, we want to show our viewers an excerpt from a story our Vince Sims did. Safe Kids Cobb County did a demonstration for us about how quickly temperatures can rise in a locked car.
Put this inside the van and it will show us how fast and how high the temperature can go.
After placing the thermometer in their van, we watch the temperature.
When you leave a child in the car, their body temperature can go up 3 to 5 times faster than an adult's. So even if the temperature were 81 degrees outside, inside a car it will be over 100.
And the thermometer showed that exact same thing in just a matter of minutes.
When we began, our temperature was at 97.5 degrees, and now we're at 100.2 degrees. That's in less than 5 minutes.
Wow, temperatures can rise even higher. You start talking about June and July. Reg Griffin is my guest, and we want to show our viewers really just part of this public safety announcement. Your department really put this together that features Governor Nathan Deal and the First Lady of Georgia.
Right.
When you arrive at your destination, look through your car to make sure everyone is out safely. Then look again.
If you see a child left alone in a vehicle, call 911 immediately. Every minute counts.
Help us spread this important message by visiting our website or following us on Facebook and Twitter. Everyone can play their part. Right, Callie?
Yeah, look again indeed. Reg, have these started airing yet?
They have started right now. We're distributing them all across the state and asking our TV partners through the Georgia Lottery and other organizations across the state cable systems to please run this as often as possible. We'd also like to see a social media campaign, and we're asking our followers on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube to share this with as many family and friends as they can. Again, it's a message that in some cases, if you're just saying it straight out, it sounds a little presumptive and maybe even a little judgmental. This is a fun way. You saw our mascot, Callie, there. Smokey Bear worked well for the National Forest Service, so we're hoping Callie can help us with kind of a fun message, just to remind kids as well that they need to also look again and help mom and dad make sure everyone's out safely.
Absolutely. Good message. Cannot hear it enough. Thank you, Reg, for joining us.
Thank you.
Reg Griffin, everybody. So we are just getting started talking about summer safety. When we come back, we'll talk to an emergency room doctor about summer safety concerns when Public Affairs on Peach returns. Stay with us.